you know, a lot of people think that I'm totally against bulk dialing, and I'm not. REISift was quite literally developed from the very beginning for bulk dialing. It was, I'm getting a fuck ton of wrong numbers, and I'm also SMSing, and I'm also, when I first started, I was doing 100,000 RVMs. Well, about a year into me starting, I was doing 100,000 RVMs a month. I was doing 100,000 SMSs, and we were dialing to 10,000 records a month. We were doing that, and I realized the amount of shit we were there was just so much. Phone numbers were just getting smashed like in every location. We were getting a bunch of angry people. Someone tried to sue me, and I was like, okay, we got to have a better way to handle this, right? And so REISift phone number management stuff started coming into play from that perspective, because initially I was just using REISift just to do stacking so I can narrow in my stuff and not skip trace in the same location. But then we started having the problem of, okay, well, now we need to be able to try to make it to where each phone number, each marketing strategy bolsters the next, which is how it should be. You should be able to move the data through a conveyor belt. And once we started interacting with that, you know, we've seen a huge drop in expenses, and we realized we can get rid of RVM entirely because it's not needed no more. We ended up ultimately getting rid of SMS, and we started only bulk dialing, and then doing the niche sequential calling. And we've seen a drastic decrease in our overhead and an increase in revenue, because we were able to focus the niche sequential on the people who, you know, wanted to sell, but also had a bigger benefit to us. We had an upside. So we focused on people who owned multiple properties and had one that was tax delinquent. And so we offered to buy all three, and we were locking up, you know, for every one contract, we were locking up 5 properties was our average. For every one contract, we were locking up 5 properties. And so we were able to quadruple our output and decreasing or quadruple our input by decreasing our output, which is absolutely bonkers to think that, but it's just understanding that, you know, what you want and then the data around it, right? And then all we do is scale outside of that. And then, you know, bing, bang, boom, REISift becoming more popular. And, you know, I started focusing more on just REISift, but it's interesting when you just start understanding it, right? I'm not saying that it's not, there isn't, you know, ways to do it maybe better for some people, right? Like online ads are a great way to do things. They should be done. It's part of our stack, but it's part of the stack over here, right? To do it goes like understanding your data, getting a proficient in being first to market, building market dominance, and then umbrella, which would be your online marketing, to try to make sure that you now become a local authority. Market dominance, market authority, right? And so, you know, that's, we all work on it in different ways and different processes. Depends on how much money we have in our bank account right now, how many VAs we have, a lot of other scenarios, right? Anyway.
So would you say that with the Sensei flow being tier 1 data. So tier 1 data, what I consider, for example, I'm doing that marketing right now for tier 1, it's absentee, vacant, and there is still a tax delinquent in there. That's what I consider tier 1. And would you say that it takes less leads to close a deal? Because with bulk dialing, for me, it took about 50 to 70 leads to close one deal so far, right? And the deal, I'm happy because I closed my first deal, but I'm not happy because I spent about 10 grand and I'm only making about $2,500 back. So I'm like, this is not sustainable.
Yeah.
But for what the videos I heard, actually there's this guy in Florida. He's like, well, right now it takes about 20 leads to close a deal. Would you say what is your experience on that done both?
Yeah. So this is one of the reasons why we need all the users to actually start using our offers calculator, or not offers calculator, but our offers tracker, like our offers feature, right? Because the more that we get users to use that, the more I could legit give you a no fuck answer on that. Like, and by no fuck, I mean a fully accurate answer. Because the power behind the collective data set, you know, as Facebook and the government has taught us, is, you know, we can use that obviously to know these types of numbers, from how many dials it takes, how many correct numbers it takes, in order to actually get X amount of dollars in revenue, and by what marketing strategy. So when it comes to the Sensei flow, what we realized just from my strategy calls with my business users is it's anywhere between 15 and 20 leads. I had one today. Some of the leads in his system were from an individual that they were networking with. So I don't know how many of those were, but it was 43 leads. And I know that they just locked up a deal. I don't know if Ivan, if you're in here or not, but that's, he locked up a house. Yeah, they bought. So 43 to 1, not great. However, again, better than 70 to 1. And also it was 3 weeks, right, to generate those results. And he was thinking maybe he was doing something wrong. Like, I don't think you understand how good starting off in a new marketing strategy, getting a contract in the first 3 weeks is, and actually owning the property afterwards is fantastic. If I could buy a new property every 3 weeks, I'd be pretty happy about that and keep it in-house. That'd be pretty impressive. So yeah, 15 to 20 leads is the norm. Now, however, if it goes above that, it could be the norm for the data set that you're marketing to. And this is why, again, it's so important to focus on first to market as much as possible. If you understand how to bring in the data in that specific niche, always prioritize. Let's just say you have 1,000 probates right now, again, and but you know how to get probates on a daily basis in your market. You focus on those daily new probates before you focus on the 1,000, because being first to market is way more important than catching up with the 1,000. It's really important to get those 1,000. Maybe you know, if this first to market is too much, those other 1,000, you could do a more hands-off approach. You can send those 1,000 direct mail. You could, you know, throw them in a bulk dialer just to work through them, get caught up, and then be first to market. Because ideally, you work to get first to market on at least 3 vexations, right, in your market. So where you're hitting those the first time, tax auctions, you know, probates, foreclosures, you get to where you're first to market on those, on at least 2 to 3 niche vexations. And then as you scale and you have some extra money, you know, we throw, you know, 10,000 records inside of the bulk dialer to hit, you know, to try to generate some more opportunity. And that's all it's for. It's really just to add some more to the pipeline, more general opportunity.